Breaking news considered. The Elias Macko Show. News Talk Radio. CJAD 800.
Trudy Mason sitting in for Elias Mackos for the next little while as he enjoys his paternity leave. If you were flooded out last month, and heaven knows plenty of people were, Pierrefonds, Dollard, Chateauguay, lots of places had flooding. You are probably wondering not just what government should be doing to better protect our communities, but what you might be doing as a property owner as well to protect your little patch of this country. And there was an interesting piece in the Gazette. Allison Reynaud, Managing Director of Climate Resilience for Quebec at the Intact Centre on Climate Adaptation, wrote a piece about how individual action is part of the solution. Yes, we need to look at governments. We need to look at cities building those rainwater catchment areas, building more green space that can sponge parks that can absorb water runoff to address the type of storm that came through last month that was so damaging to so many properties, a slow-moving kind that just sit over one region and dump a lot of water in a fairly short period of time. We welcome to CJAD now, Allison Reynaud. Good morning.
Good morning, Mrs. Mason. Thank you for having me.
I think this is an interesting approach to flood protection because you're putting the onus not just on municipalities and provinces and the feds to look at adaptations and new ways of doing things. You're telling homeowners, property owners, that they're going to have to adapt as well. And I would think a lot of homeowners who are cash strapped are not going to want to hear that message.
Yeah, I totally understand. But the new reality is that adaptation, it's like so damaging that we all have a role to play. Governments, for sure, but individual as well. And homeowners can adapt their house and protect them. And as per like the costs, like subsidies program already exists to support them, like make this upgrade.
We'll get into where you might turn for help if you are a homeowner looking for help with financing in just a sec. What are the basic things that in some cases can be done for free or at relatively low cost, Allison, to help flood-proof a property?
Yeah, so you have like free and easy steps that you can do like over a weekend, for example, like clearing the storm drain in front of your house, extending the downspouts 2 meters away from the foundation of your house, checking for leaks in the plumbing. If you have a sump pump, you can test it. You can also clean the backwater well if you have one. So basically it's like taking care of your property and what's around them to make sure like if there is heavy rain, the water is going to be able to be evacuated.
I could hear homeowners groaning now because that's one of I think the least favorite things to do on a house is clean out the eaves troughs and the downspouts and make sure. But there are services that you could hire that you could do, have them do that if you can afford it. The extension of the downspout 2 meters from the foundation so that it's going out onto soil that will absorb the water. That's something that I think a lot of homeowners got away from because aesthetically they don't like the look. They don't like this big tube of metal coming 2 meters out away from their foundation, but it makes a lot of sense to move the water away from your foundation.
Yeah, I totally get it. Even if it's like not beautiful, at the end you might have saved like your basement and your memories. So it's really useful and it's working. And it's even better if you do like a combination of all this action. So the 3 steps I told you about, and then you have like even like more simple upgrades. So like window wells, for example, or storing your furniture in valuable like in other places and not in the basement, so you don't lose what you care about when there is flooding. So That's something easy to do.
You're also recommending that your sump pump, because a lot of homeowners already have sump pumps, but they find then in a storm that's bad enough to risk flooding, you may also have a power failure. And if the thing is operated off the hydro grid, it's going to give out when the hydro grows. So you're essentially without one. You're recommending a battery backup and an external generator.
Yeah, definitely. Well, the story of Pierre for homeowners stood up for me because he told reporters that he had done everything. He had a sump pump, but when the powers went out, everything stopped working. So his basement was flooded anyway. So the external generator is something we don't usually think about. But in situations like that, it's going to help you prevent flooding.
Tell me about these two measures that people who have garages might want to think about. The special garage door and the flood barrier. I had never heard of these flood barriers before.
Yeah, the flood barrier it's called a bâtard d'eau in French. I don't know the exact translation in English. And it's more expensive, but when you know there will be flooding, you put that around the garage door, and it has like several meters in high, so it's going to prevent flooding to get into the basement. And the watertight garage door is going to help the garage door hold water. So it's not like 100%, but it's going to be way more effective than the current one.
Are those two measures suitable for the homes that have driveways that slope down to a garage in the basement? You know how a lot of homes have the basement in the garage in the basement, and they have these, it's quite a steep slope too, down to the garage door to go into the basement garage. Would those two measures help?
Yeah, 100%. And we see that a lot in Quebec and in Canada with like the below grade garage entries. And this is a specific flooding risk. So exploring like watertight garage door and removable flood barrier is definitely going to help.
Tell us about where homeowners can go to get some financial help if they are doing these types of additions to their home.
So in Montreal, you have the Reynaud program, so you can check on the City of Montreal website. So it's going to reimburse up to 50% of flood protection work. And you also have the organization called Ecohabitation. She's going to offer free advisory service and advice for you to protect your home from flooding. And starting in October, the Quebec government is going to unveil its new adaptation program for citizens. It's called Renault Climat, and it's going to offer up to $1,000 for basic protection measures. And you can have also more funding available for major structural work. But we will have more information in October.
Allison, thank you very much for telling us about those programs. I appreciate your time today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Allison Reynaud is Managing Director of Climate Resilience Canada. When we return after the traffic report, we are going to talk about open water drownings. There's some concern. These are drownings that occur in lakes and rivers, not necessarily pools. And we'll talk to the Lifesaving Society about this. That is after a traffic report brought.
Hello, Canada.
This is Bryan Adams Radio. Hosted by Bryan Adams himself.
We'll play a few of mine, a ton of my favorites, and some must-hear behind-the-scenes stories from the world of rock and roll. We're coming to get you! One thing about doing rock and roll so long is you end up meeting a lot of the people that you admire. Sometimes you even get to work with them. It's only love, and that's all.
Bryan Adams Radio. I'm coming back to you. Now available on the free iHeartRadio app.
Hey everybody, how are you tonight? Sounds great.
Missed something?
Subscribe to the Elias Macco Show podcast to catch up.
Available on iHeartRadio and wherever you get your podcasts.
Well, it might surprise you to hear that one of the big gym chains here in Quebec is bringing in women-only sections in their gyms, and women-only independent gyms are popping up here and there. We will talk to the owner of one of those gyms coming up in a moment.
Listen wherever, whenever, on your radio. Online at CJAD800.com. On your smart speaker.
Playing CJAD.
Or your phone. Through the iHeartRadio app. Where and when you need us. This is News Talk Radio. CJAD 800.
You've heard the chaos. Now you can see it. Oh my God. Watch all your favorite podcasts from start to finish right inside the free iHeartRadio app.
Gets the blood going, huh?
Catch every laugh and eye roll on shows like the Tom Green Farmcast and Park the Bus. Now with full video.
We're building a ramp for Tony Hawk.
It's the same hosts and the same chemistry with all the hilarious moments you've been missing right on your screen.
Cheers.
Open the free iHeartRadio app, search video podcasts, and tap watch.
Debate, interviews, and breaking news. The Elias Macco Show. News Talk Radio, CJAD 800.
Back in the day, I was a longtime member of Curves. Remember, Curves came into Quebec in a big way, women's only gyms set up as a circuit. It was a very accessible form of physical activity, easy to understand. They had monitors there who could help you out if you needed it. And it was quite social too. And I think that's one of the reasons that I enjoyed it so much. And I met some people there that I'm still in contact with today. So I really liked that experience of the women's only setting and the feeling of freedom. I didn't have to worry about how I looked, what anyone else was doing, were people laughing at me, which quite frankly was the biggest thing, it can be very intimidating as a rookie to walk into a gym and to hope you're doing everything correctly and thinking that people are watching and judging you for various aspects. Then Curves disappeared from the landscape. There is talk about a resurgence, by the way. So you might see it come back. But then now there are a number of women-only options available, and it seems to be a returning, growing trend on the fitness scene. I was surprised to read that Econo Fitness now has 8 of its 76 gyms in Quebec with zones reserved for women. And they're also planning on opening more. They're saying that that the percentage of women training in gyms where there are these women-only zones, 8% higher than in mixed gyms. And for a lot of exercisers, it's just about finding a place that they are comfortable. We're going to speak now with the owner of a gym designed for women. Vicky Bray owns Gym Fontainebleau pour Elle. Vicky, welcome to CJAD.
Yes, thank you for having me. This is a great opportunity for me to talk about the great women's only fitness facility.
Tell us about what sent you down the path of thinking about founding a women's only fitness facility.
Well, I bought the gym 17 years ago, and it was already a women's facility. I think they've opened in 22 or 23 years ago, so it was already a trend at that time. It was very popular. We had a lot of memberships, and women just felt great to train in a community just for women.
What's happening now? Why, for example, are we seeing Econo Fitness saying, okay, well, this is working for us. We're going to open even more of these women's sections in our gyms. What do you think is going on?
Well, you talked about it before. You felt great. You felt without judgment. They are coming. And the other point is that the equipment is adapted for women. We have smaller weights, smaller progression. We have programs designed especially for women, so they feel we are thinking about the difference between, men and women.
Is there a typical client that you see coming to you? Is this a young woman looking for a place with no guys around, checking out to see whether she's wearing a revealing top? Is this older women who might be body conscious and worried about returning to fitness? Who are you seeing?
Well, my gym is really special because we have women between 14 and 84 years old, training at the same facility. So we often see a daughter, a mother, to come and train together. We have so many options for them that we can reach, more group age, We have like functional training. We have group classes. We have also weight stacking the gym. So every age, every group find their option.
Speaking of options, we have a text in from one of our listeners on this topic saying, yeah, but if men want men-only gyms or sections, it would be considered misogyny. I don't think so. I would have no objection to having separate sections for both in a gym where if you are self-conscious for whatever reason, you can go and have your own section in a gym where you don't have to worry about being. I don't think it's really a divide between men and women at all. Because I think what a lot of people don't talk about is that men feel judged too, especially men who have become deconditioned, who might be going back to exercise after a long time away, or men who never did that type of formal exercise and are real rookies. They can experience the same type of self-consciousness that keeps women out of gyms. So I'm not opposed to that. Vicky, tell me about how how do you address those questions of, no, this is discriminatory to have women only in a facility?
Well, what we want, bottom line, is people to be healthy. We want people to move. We want them to feel great, So if going in a mixed gym makes you feel good because you're going to train with your boyfriend or with your friends, and it's fine. But if you come in women's only facility and it helps you to come 2-3 times a week, and you can achieve your goal, and you can, become healthier and feel good about yourself, I think it's all good answers. You just have to find something right for you.
I wonder if this applies to another text that has come in saying, does it have anything to do with Muslims demanding women's only gyms? Do you see that much at Gym Fontainebleau?
Not really, because, we've been there for a long time, and the program are designed especially for women. So we have programs for pregnancy. We have go through healthy menopause program. So it's not about
like a religious belief.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with that. It's mostly women needs. We have a naturopath on the place that is specialized for women's needs. We have supplements that help go through menopause. We have stuff specialized just for us,
And you know what? I'm of the opinion too that if certain organizations, for example, if there's a call within a municipality for a woman's only swimming lesson where men are not permitted at the pool at that time, or men's only, I'm okay with that. I'm absolutely okay with that, because it's your point. What we want is people to be healthy. We have to meet people where they are. Whether they're seniors, whether they're new exercisers, whether they're deconditioned, you have to meet people where they are and try and offer services that will get them healthy, because that benefits all of us, right?
Yes.
If the population is healthy. Where can people find out more about Gym Fontainebleau, Vicky?
Oh, yes. On the website, gymfontainebleauelle.com, we have also the social media, Instagram and Facebook, that we have videos that gives you all the differences in our gym. So we have wonderful staff, all certified and adapted for women needs.
Vicky, thank you for speaking to us.
Well, thank you for having me. Have a healthy, great day.
And you too. Vicky
Thank you.
Bray
Bye-bye.
is owner of Gym Fontainebleau pour Elle, and that is in Blainville. Coming back, well, you probably heard on the news that the Bank of Canada has decided to hold steady on its key interest rate. We'll get an expert take on what that means for all of us.
You've heard the chaos. Now you can see it. Oh my God. Watch all your favorite podcasts from start to finish right inside the free iHeartRadio app.
Gets the blood going, huh?
Catch every laugh and eye roll on shows like the Tom Green Farmcast and Park the Bus. Now with full video.
We're building a ramp for Tony Hawk.
It's the same hosts and the same chemistry with all the hilarious moments you've been missing right on your screen.
Cheers.
Open the free iHeartRadio app, search video podcasts, and tap watch.
Time is valuable. Thanks for spending your morning with us. The Elias Macco Show on News Talk Radio, CJAD 800.
Trudy sitting in. Talking now about the Bank of Canada announcement today. It had been widely expected the Bank of Canada would hold its benchmark rate steady at 2.25%. And in fact, that is what the bank announced today. It would keep the rate at 2.25, the sixth consecutive hold, saying that it expects the economy will rebound after a rather rough start to our year. So the new forecasts for the Bank of Canada show that inflation is expected to ease toward the central bank's 2% target by next year after surging in response to oil prices going up over the spring. And of course, that's, the whole U.S.-Iran thing. Here to share his expertise with us, Richard Lapointe. He can always be reached. He's a senior portfolio manager at CIBC Wood Gundy. Hi, Richard.
Thank you. Yes. Hi. Good morning, Judy.
Good morning. So widely expected. Did you expect this hold at 2.25%?
Oh, yeah. I did expect it. The big issue in everything you just announced there is sixth consecutive hold. So there's an issue going on here. We're in a recession. Let's call it everyone likes to call it a technical recession. Let's give it that wonderful name. So we are in an economic slowdown. We would normally lean heavy on the central bank to lower rates to get us out of this. Right? This would be one of the tools the government would have to get Canada up and running again. Lower rates, inspire business activity. This would be exciting. They can't. Now you hit the nail on the head when you talked about the Iran-U.S. conflict. Yes, there's a problem. Yes, it's impacting the Straits of Hormuz and thus driving up oil prices. But we already had an inflation problem before this. Our food prices were really high. Our rents were really high. Our inflation was already above before the Americans and Iranians got into their, let's call it, grudge match. So we are not in a position to lower rates because we should be raising them. So we can't raise them because the economy is too weak, and we can't lower them because there's too much inflation. The central bank is really in a box. This is not a good thing.
The rosy picture that they're painting of inflation easing to meet that target of 2% by next year, are you buying that, or do you think we're in more trouble?
Well, look, I'm buying it, but it's the reason why I'm buying it that we should all really focus in on. I'm buying it because I think the Canadian economy is struggling. I'm buying it because I give the Americans the benefit of the doubt that they'll come to some sort of peace agreement with the Iranians and the oil will flow again. I am buying those two circumstances. I'm worried about Canada being uncompetitive worldwide and our economy dropping and thus people doing less activity and prices dropping. This is a worry of mine. This is a concern I have of our country.
Yeah, Richard, I think, though, that, talking about prices declining as a downside would not doesn't resonate with a lot of people who are just
No, it does not.
looking at the cost of living and thinking, I can't make ends meet.
Yeah. Well,
can we have our cake and eat it too?
Well, the only way you can. So again, this is the only out here. There was some piece of good news that there was a silver lining I recently saw. So Meta is building up an AI data center in Alberta. Okay. Canada has what the planet needs. It has the metal, it has the gas, the water, the electricity. We have it all. So we really should be booming now as we're expanding the things that need so much electricity and so much metal and so much gas and oil. This should be our year to shine. So what we have to do is attract these hyperscalers up to Canada because we have everything they want, including a lot of land. We just have to make sure our regulations get, how can I put it, less onerous and our tax rates less destructive. If we can get that going, we'll get many more hyperscaler buildings up here, and that will really run Canada.
Oh, there's so many concerns about those, Richard, from an environmental point of view, a social point of view. Is this, industries we should be wanting to get into? And we've had a warning from the Aboriginal community that major projects without Aboriginal either ownership or partnership in some way, no go.
So, if that is the case, right? And the Americans are moving ahead full steam into AI, and the Chinese doing the same. Where does that put Canada?
No, not very competitive.
Exactly. So what you're seeing now, a recent survey had 42% of major corporations in Canada contemplating a move to the U.S. I'm not saying they're doing it. Not saying they push the button, but they're contemplating it. This is horrible. So, okay, the Aboriginals will be cool, our environment will be beautiful, and we'll all be terribly poor.
Richard, always good to get your expertise and insights. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Richard Lapointe, Senior Portfolio Manager at CIBC Wood Gundy. I'll be back in a sec.
Listen, and you're there for heart-wrenching knockouts. World's biggest stage and breathtaking triumph. 2026 FIFA World Cup. The knockout stage. Every match, every moment. Listen on TSN Radio. Join the Globe on the road to the July 19th final. 2026 FIFA World Cup. Stream it all live on TSN Radio. Available on iHeartRadio.
My very big thank you to content producer Maxime Cadotte, technical whiz Jay Farrar for producing the show from Master Control. I'll be back in the chair tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day.
iHeartRadio is throwing it back.
2010s, the decade.
To the days of huge hits and unforgettable anthems. A non-stop stream of the biggest and best.
Drake, Rihanna, Beyonce, Katy, Gaga, The Weeknd,
and more. All your decade-defining favorites, all in one place.
Hi, it's Katy Perry.
Hey, it's Bruno Mars.
This is Kesha.
Find 2010's The Decade on the free iHeartRadio app. Preset the station so it's always one tap away.
You're listening to the Voice of Montreal.
News Talk Radio, CJAD 800.
An iHeartRadio station.
Hey, I'm Ruby Carr, the host of the podcast Encore. Check out our brand new episodes featuring music from the show that everyone is reheating as we speak, Heated Rivalry. Join me as I go behind the songs that brought Shane and Elia together. I'll tell you the stories of Feist, My Moon, My Man, Wolf Parade's I'll Believe in Anything, and Tattoo's All the Things She Said, and how they all became a part of this global phenomenon. Stream Encore on iHeartRadio, Crave, or wherever you get your podcasts.